Every time you make a movie, it's as though you are filling your backpack and then you have to empty it at the end. It's one of the reasons I became a director, is I enjoy doing something new every year. And each time you make a film, you approach it in a completely different life, but then you have to leave it behind as you approach the next one. Cinema is kind of my home. Because as I said, every year I'm somewhere different, but I always know I'm home when I'm making a movie. Every time you make a movie, you're doing something new for the first time. You're doing something no one's ever done before. And I get excited by that kind of frontier.
Je travaille pour une boîte qui me loue à des lâches qui n'ont pas le courage de licencier leurs propres employés. Et ça se comprend.
Tu te prends pour qui?
Parce que les gens deviennent dingues quand on les vire. Vous me rendrez votre badge?
I don't think you need guts to tell this kind of story at this kind of time. I think this is a movie that transcends time. It's about human connection. It's about a man who needs to connect with other people and understand the value of relationships, and that really exists at any time. The fact that it's during an economic crisis and he fires people for a living is nice. It serves as an interesting backdrop, but since the beginning of time, there's been a question of, do we find purpose in the relationships in our lives? What's the point? Yes. No, I don't. No one does. Look, I'm 32 years old. So far, all I've learned is life is infinitely complicated and that there are no answers. There is no point.
Quel genre de relation vous avez?
Ça t'est jamais arrivé de regarder quelqu'un dans les yeux? D'avoir l'impression qu'on contemple ton âme et que le monde s'arrête autour de toi?
Si.
Ben moi non.
This is a movie about a man who sees the world two ways. He sees it from up here, and he sees it this close, but he never actually sees anything. I wanted to make a movie about a man who is everywhere but is also nowhere. It's funny because you'd think technology makes us closer, but in a strange way, you may have 1,000 friends on Facebook, but you don't actually see them. It's a gumbo. It's everything rolled into one. It's a movie that defies classification. It's a movie about a man getting to know his family, falling in love with a woman, becoming a father, firing people. It's about a man who speaks about the idea of loneliness. It's about a man who collects air miles and travels. It's a comedy, it's a drama, it's a romance. It's a horror slasher film.
Everything that you can do if you could only lay down your mind. Take the time to take apart each brick that sits outside your heart and look around you.
He read the script, he liked it, he said yes. C'est très facile avec George Clooney parce que having George Clooney makes everything easier. It makes the green light easier, it makes people want to make the movie easier, I have more control over the film, he's a terrific actor, he's lovely to the crew, he's an actor who thinks like a director, so he's helping me. So from start to finish, you know, I highly recommend to any director to use George Clooney if you can.
L'année dernière, j'ai été 322 jours en déplacement. J'ai parcouru l'équivalent de 350 000 miles en avion. La Lune n'est qu'à 250. Tout ce que vous détestez probablement dans les voyages me donne l'agréable sensation d'être chez moi.
Bienvenue, Monsieur Bingham.
We're so used to seeing airports as ugly places on film, and I think of airports as gorgeous. I think they're monuments of architecture. I love being in airports, and so I shot them for what they are, for something that I love. You know what, I've always loved flying, and I always wanted to make a movie about air travel, but it's funny, once you use a song in a movie, you can't listen to the song anymore, and once I've done a movie about air travel, I don't enjoy it as much anymore.
We believe in everything that you can do if you could only lay down your mind.